What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. My God, some of you guys are maybe, I don't know, maybe you have a sprinkle retardation. You're dropped on the head when your mom was breastfeeding. I don't really know what it is, but some of you guys are really thick and you think one type of way. You're not willing to branch off or even remotely be open minded. And I'm talking about Floyd Mayweather. He just tweeted that you get to pick his next opponent, and he says pick who my next. He basically did an ego poll 2.0, and he says who should I fight next. I'll let the fans pick Marcos Maidana or Amir Khan, and just some of the feedback, the things that I'm reading and hearing is utterly ridiculous. First off, let me start off by I don't know if Floyd visits the YTBC, but it sounds like he listened to my video yesterday because I was complaining in my post Super Bowl because he said, "Oh, let the fans pick" and all this. And in my video, I was saying it sounds kind of dumb and it sounds kind of like a gimmick because there was no uniform poll or place to play like to post your ballot. So I didn't even understand. I was like, so it just seemed stupid. I was just like, man, he should just pick himself. But now all of a sudden he has the website. You like go to Mayweather Promotions and they have this whole polling system. And Marcos Maidana is killing. Last time I checked, he's absolutely killing Amir Khan in votes. It was like 70 something percent to 28% or something crazy. He was just absolutely like annihilating him. It wasn't even close. So this is some of the stuff that I'm hearing. And like I said, some of these double standards are utterly ridiculous. If you hate Floyd, you want to call him a woman beater, all that extra stuff, that's cool. So be it. That's fine. I don't have to I mean, it doesn't have any bearing on me. But some of the things that come out of your mouth, someone's like, first of all, Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley are fucking fighting in April. So Mayweather's trying to fight in May, like he announced last year, before the Bradley Pacquiao 2 was set in stone. He announced that. Neither promotional company, besides a charity event, which you can't really take serious because at the end of the day, if two people want to conduct business and they want to get something done, then there's means and methods to do it. I've teamed up with several people and done boxing videos, be it an athlete or a trainer. Did a video with 78 E King before, and it's not really that hard. It's not that hard. If you want to do business, you want to do business. The end. But for whatever reason, it doesn't seem like neither party, Golden Boy, Top Rank, Mayweather Promotions, likes working with the other. So the Cold War is bullshit, and it's halting some exciting fight from happening. So some people are complaining. They're like, "Oh, where's Mayweather and Pacquiao? Where's Mayweather and Bradley?" That's not even realistic, especially since Pacquiao and Bradley are fighting a month before Mayweather is fighting. So regardless, that fight can't happen. Even if there was no Cold War, Bradley and Pacquiao, they've already started their promotional tour. So it's just a dumb comment. They're fighting each other, so obviously Mayweather can't fight either one of those. Then I'm reading, why is Edislandi Laura not on the list? And the funny thing is, some of the fans, you go to their page and they're diehard Canelo fans, and they were the same people. Some of the people that are leaving comments were the same ones who were saying Canelo's not fighting Edislandi Laura because he has no fan base, because he's not a draw, he's not worthy. And this motherfucker Canelo actually claims and actually states that this is the division I fight at. If I fight at 154, Floyd Mayweather, on the other hand, has dabbled at 54 2.5 times. Oscar De La Hoya, Miguel Cotto, and a catchweight, and that's the halftime, if you don't comprehend. And that was with Canelo, catchweight with Canelo. But he's never been a permanent resident at 54 and say, hey, this is the place that I'm going to fight at. And even more so, he couldn't even make the catch weight in the Canelo fight. On fight night, he didn't even rehydrate enough weight to make the catch weight of 152 pounds. So he's really fighting bigger people, and he has been for quite some time, based solely on skill set and his intelligence in the ring and being able to stay out of trouble and being smart in there. But he's already fighting guys who are bigger than himself. Now people are complaining about Edislandi Laura, but some of you motherfuckers, again, are the same ones that had an excuse. You had a scapegoat when the Canelo and Edeslandi Lara fight, when Canelo was still undefeated, was not happening. Some of you guys were like, oh, a fight, Canelo's a rock star, he's a superstar. This fight, Edeslandi Lara doesn't put asses in the seats, he's a boring style. Now when it comes to Mayweather, you attack him for not fighting Edeslandi Lara when he never even claimed to be a permanent 154-pound fighter, yet you were making excuses for the permanent 154-pound fighter, Canelo, why he shouldn't fight him when there was talks of Edeslandi Lara. Now, after Canelo lost to Mayweather, he's fighting Angulo next, and I, being a reasonable boxing fan, said that's okay. I want to see him fight Edeslandi Lara, but I don't think he should get thrown back in the fire. You already fought a tricky style in Floyd Mayweather. I don't think immediately you just need to go, especially when the motherfucker said he's trying to fight 3 times this year. After a loss, why does he have to run back and fight Edeslandi Lara? That's stupid. That's like 2 back-to-back losses potentially if Edeslandi Lara outsmarts him, outwits him, and beats him. And that's not a good look for his career. So I was okay with that. But again, some of you guys aren't level-headed, and you have these arguments, and it's not reasonable. You're not reasonable. Like I said, fighter A, Canelo, let's say that's your favorite fighter. That's cool. Canelo's a good fighter. If he doesn't fight Edeslandi Lara, you throw out excuses for why that fight shouldn't happen. But if Mayweather doesn't, just because you want to see him potentially tested or potentially lose or whatever, then he's a bitch. Or if Gennady Golovkin doesn't move up to fight Andre Ward because that's not in his immediate plans, and him and his team said they don't want to go up and fight Ward, possibly in the future they'll fight him, but they want to do work at 160, then that's okay with you. But if Gennady Golovkin wants to move down to 154, a fight weight that we haven't even seen him fight at in his pro career, and he wants to call out Mayweather, then Mayweather's a bitch for not taking that fight. Yet Gennady Golovkin's all peaches and cream for staying put at 160 and not moving up. So again, it just shows me you want Mayweather to lose so bad that whoever you think will give him the most difficult time, you're pressing for that fight. You're like, okay, Gennady at 54, even though we've never seen this motherfucker. He might be a skeleton at 54. I don't know how comfortably he can make the weight. Because going from 160 to 154, that's 6 fucking pounds. And if you're not accustomed to cutting weight like that, then it's not necessarily a good look, but you don't care. Same thing with Sergio Martinez. Oh, Sergio and Mayweather. You haven't even seen Sergio fight at 54 in a couple years, and he's been fighting bigger dudes and acclimating himself to the 160. But if he doesn't fight Triple G, it's all good, but Mayweather's a bitch for not fighting Sergio. So it's just like there's no real win-win with Mayweather. Either you love him or you hate him with a lot of people. It's seldom in between. It's seldom I just see someone like, oh, Mayweather's cool, I like him, but he's not the best. You know what I mean? Like it's usually one extreme or the other for the most part. People like really like what he does, or people really hate him and everything he does. But I'm just sick of the double standards. Now back to Mayweather and Amir Khan versus Marcos Maidana. Marcos Maidana, like I said, he was killing Mayweather. My mistake. Marcos Maidana was literally killing Amir Khan on the polls. And people are complaining about that. They're like, oh, he's going to take the flat-footed, slow fighter that we're used to seeing. Someone who fights in the typical brawler, flat-footed style. He's too slow. And you guys, some of you, are already counting Marcos Maidana out. Yet, in my opinion, Marcos Maidana deserves it way more than Amir Khan at this particular juncture. And that's because, 1, he has a belt. 2, he beat, and by beat, I mean he beat his motherfucking ass beaten. He beat Adrian Broner's ass in a convincing, dominant fashion. He was the underdog in that fight. Adrian Broner was the rising talent who was expected and favored to win. And there's already your storyline right there. Little bro, big bro, Marcos Maidana. And it's a great fight. But people are complaining already. So it's like there's no real win. You're saying, oh, if he fights Maidana, it's another slow, flat-footed fighter who comes to brawl that won't be able to catch him, and it'll be a points victory. But it doesn't matter. I mean, it's like he's so good that people hold him to this caliber, and unless he's going to move up to 160 and fight Gennady Golovkin, he's a bitch or whatever. Now, the only reasonable one that can be made to me, that we haven't seen yet is Pacquiao. Like that, I mean, that's a legit fight. I still don't know why this fight has not been made. It makes sense. Both fighters bring money to the table. So it's not like a Edislandi Lara where he's a great fighter. He's a hell of a fighter. But he doesn't necessarily have the biggest fan base, let's be honest. I don't really remember any of his last couple fights where he was the headliner per se. Edislandi Lara versus Alfredo Angulo, great fight. But that was on the undercard to Marcos Maidana and Josecito Lopez. Edislandi Lara versus Austin Trout. That was another undercard, I think, for Paulie Malignaggi and Zab Judah, I believe it was. So he's not really put himself, for whatever reason, or has not been afforded the opportunity to be a main event superstar, megastar, based on his style, based on whatever, his handlers, whatever. And people are like, oh, he's a bitch if he doesn't fight him. I was hearing Mayweather needed to fight Lucas Matisse. He needed to fight Austin Trout when Austin Trout was defeated. Now Austin Trout has been defeated twice, once by Canelo and once by Edislandi Lara. I don't hear anybody pressing for that fight. And that still could be a difficult fight for him because Floyd's not as big as Edislandi Lara. He's not as big as Canelo. And that still could be a tricky fight. He's a southpaw. He's a slick fighter. And I guess 2 back-to-back losses, people are already writing Austin Trout off. But if you go back to my videos way back when, before Austin Trout lost to Canelo and lost to Edislandi Lara, that was the fight that I was reading people who hated Mayweather because they would let it be known in their comment that they hated him. They were saying Austin Trout, Mayweather's a bitch. He doesn't want to fight Austin Trout. Now that he's lost, you jump on the next fighter's dick. Oh, Gennady Golovkin's still hot? Okay, cool. If Gennady Golovkin rematched Curtis Stevens or something and for some reason got knocked out or fought Kirkland and got knocked out, then you will say Mayweather has to fight Kirkland now or he has to fight Curtis Stevens now. Like, it's a never-ending story. The opponents are never going to get more reasonable. And, again, some of you guys make excuses for fighter A, like, oh, Canelo doesn't need to fight Edislandi Lara because he has no fan base. But then you look at the number 1 pound for pound, the highest grossing athlete in the world, highest grossing boxer, and he's a bitch because he didn't fight Edislandi Lara. But what was Canelo for not fighting him? You know what I mean? Again, the only fight that absolutely should take place that, without question, is like a Mayweather versus Pacquiao or Bradley. Those are reasonable fights that, based on the Cold War, we're not getting. Those fights make sense. Other than that, there's not too many marquee opponents. And again, some of you guys are going to find a way to hate. Okay, if the fans pick Amir Khan, oh, he's a bum, Julio Diaz troubled him, knocked him down, why is he fighting him? Okay, Marcos Maidana, oh, he's too flat-footed. It's like you guys are coming up with the excuses beforehand, so if Mayweather wins in the fashion that we're used to seeing him win, where it's just a dominant performance and he clearly beats the fighter in front of him, it's like you already have your excuse lined up. Oh, Amir Khan was a bum anyway. He's a glass chin. Bradis Prescott and Danny Garcia wrecked him. Julio Diaz troubled him. And then if he fights Marcos Maidana, you're like, oh, he's a bitch for not fighting Khan. Khan has the length and the speed to trouble him. And it could be speed versus speed, but he's fighting the flat-footed fighter. But if he fights Khan, then you're like, oh, he's ducking Marcos Maidana, who whooped his little brother, his little boy. You know what I'm saying? Adrian Broner. And he has the belt. Oh, he's ducking the person who's a warrior and going to bring the fight to him and hits like a ton of bricks. So, again, some of the radical Mayweather haters, you're always going to complain. And it's just like, I'm over it. I'm used to it. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.